Welcome back to TRT World Forum.
So I just
A kind reminder for all our participants, please don't forget to download the application called TRT Bil Bakalım and join a special competition on the section called Next. 2021 was an exciting year for space travel, as global companies are vying for launching a commercial and touristic flight to International Space Center. Where is next? Let's watch the session video. Thank you. Now we'll be hitchhiking through the galaxy with our esteemed speaker, aspiring astronaut and founder of Mars Generation. Please welcome Abigail Harrison.
Hello, everyone. Let me pose a question. What defines humanity? We know that we are human, but what is it that makes us human? Some people believe that it is our ability to communicate, our language that defines humanity. Others believe that it is our self-awareness. And still others believe that it's our large brains, our ability to walk bipedally or on 2 feet, and these handy guys are thumbs. I won't suggest that I am the authority on the answer, but I do have an idea of what I believe defines humanity. I believe that humanity is defined by an everlasting, unending drive to explore. It is our curiosity that makes us human, our desire to learn about our environment, to ask questions, and to search relentlessly for the answers to those questions. Hi, I'm Abby, and today I'm going to be taking you on a journey through our solar system and our future in space exploration. Before we can talk about what's next, we have to have footing in what has already come. Space exploration can be generally divided into 2 categories, crewed and uncrewed. As you can see here, we have an example of crewed with an astronaut performing an EVA or an extravehicular activity, and an early example of uncrewed space exploration with the Sputnik satellite, the first satellite in space. We have been participating in crewed research with human beings in space for decades now. And in particular, we have this incredible research station, the International Space Station, which is a collaboration between 16 nations from around the world to create the foremost orbiting research outpost in our low Earth orbit. One of the incredible things about the International Space Station is that it has been operational since 2000, which means that if anyone in this room or anyone watching from around the world is 22 years or younger, you have never lived on a planet with every other human. Your entire life, there have been humans inhabiting space, and that's an awe-inspiring idea. We have learned through the International Space Station how to live, work, and even play in outer space. We have challenged ourselves in these difficult situations, in these nearly seemingly impossible situations of space, to learn, to survive, and even more so to thrive, to prepare for the future steps that we will take in exploring our solar system and our universe. Now, I mentioned that there's another type of space exploration. There's uncrewed space exploration as well. Here are a couple of highlights from our past in uncrewed space. So here we can see what I believe to be the most incredible series of images that have ever been taken from space. In the 1990s, the Voyager 1 probe, which is the farthest ranging human-made object ever, was exiting our solar system. And before it exited our solar system, it was instructed to turn around and to complete a rather unusual mission, to turn its cameras back on Earth, back on home, and to take a series of what are known as the family portraits of our solar system, which you can see here. Here's a little bit of a closer-up view of these. I do apologize for the quality of these photos, but I believe that you can all forgive me considering that they were taken from 6 billion kilometers away. And with this, we have been able to recognize our place in our solar system, to realize what a precious gift it is to live on this pale blue dot that is Earth. Now, space exploration Uncrewed has reached vast corners of our solar system. We have sent probes to many different planets and moons and areas, including this probe to Jupiter. We have learned how to explore Mars with robotics and with rovers, and even recently discovered how to fly helicopters in the incredibly thin and difficult Martian atmosphere, a technique that will allow us to explore much greater ranges of the Martian surface in the future. We have touched the sun with a probe. We have landed on asteroids, and so much more. I do apologize, there's not quite enough time for me to go through the entire history, and I wouldn't put you through that either, but here's a brief representation of uncrewed space exploration missions between 2019 planned up until 2023. As you can see, we are putting in so many different efforts to explore these vast corners of our solar system. Now, this is as is the theme of this conference, we have a basis now. We can look forwards and ask ourselves, what is next? What can we expect in the future of space exploration? What is it that our generation will be doing? Well, here are a couple of answers to that question. Of course, humanity's return to the moon is at the top of the list. When we think about our return to the moon, this is an opportunity for us to continue to increase our skills in space exploration, to learn how do we survive elsewhere? How do we live? How do we perform research? How do we expand our access to the solar system? And of course, humanity's return to the moon is a preparatory step for our next giant leap to place bootprints on the surface of Mars, to put human beings on another planet for the first time. In order to do so, we will have to develop technologies that we cannot even imagine today. They will be developed by this generation. They will allow us to withstand the incredibly difficult environment of Mars. They will allow us to make the transit to and from Mars, to explore and to discover. And of course, we will also be continuing to perform uncrewed space exploration, such as exploring the atmosphere of Venus, where it's believed that there are organic signatures in the atmosphere that might indicate the presence of extraterrestrial or alien life. Another way that we are looking for extraterrestrial or alien life in our solar system is by sending probes and spacecraft to the far reaches, to the outer planets and to their moons, such as this picture here that you can see of Enceladus, which was recently listed by the Decadal Planetary Survey as one of the primary targets for the next generation of space exploration initiatives. However, we also have a lot of space exploration that has been in the news recently, which I'm sure many of you are familiar with and have been hearing about. The landscape of what we do and how we do it in space has changed dramatically and drastically within the last decade. And I believe that we will see even further changes in the next decade that will create a landscape that is unlike anything that we could imagine. For example, we have SpaceX, who is sending full private crews to the International Space Station. We have Blue Origin, who is delivering regular people to space so that they can experience something known as the overview effect. The overview effect is a well-documented incident in which astronauts who view Earth from space experience a cognitive shift, in which as they look down on our precious planet, our pale blue dot, against the darkness of space, they realize how lucky we are to be here, how lucky we are to have this, and how fragile our place in the universe truly is. The more people who can experience the overview effect, the more advocates we will have here on Earth for continual and lasting change to improve our planet and our lives on this planet. Of course, we also have some fantastic organizations that have to be mentioned when you discuss the future of space exploration and what's next, such as the Boeing Starliner, such as the Dream Chaser Tenacity, and such as the Perspectives balloon, which is intended to take large numbers of people up to the outer limits of our atmosphere and the edge of space to produce an even larger amount of people who are experiencing this overview effect. Now, when we think about who has access to space, who has gone in the past, and who even continues to go currently, we see drastic differences. We see that it has been largely male, it has been largely white, and it has been largely from a couple of countries. Initiatives such as this within the private industry allow us to break down those barriers and to increase access to who goes to space, who experiences the overview effect, and who can then come back to Earth, to their communities, to make lasting impact and change. As such, a couple of mentions of incredible programs here on Earth that are aiming to increase the access and opportunity to space exploration for more diverse ranges of people. For example, one of my favorite programs in the world, Astro Access, which provides opportunities in the space industry for people with differing abilities, as well as Space for Humanity's Citizen Astronaut program, which recently selected their first citizen crew to go to space on a Blue Origin rocket, as you can see, Kat. These opportunities and these initiatives will allow us to change the landscape of space exploration and to increase the access and opportunity. And when we do so, not only do we see impacts here on Earth of who is sharing, who is communicating, who is bringing it back to their families, their communities, but we also see changes in how we do space exploration. The more diversity that we include in space exploration, the more incredible our technologies become, the more capable we are in the future. An equal and just and equitable future in space exploration is truly what is next. As we think about this future of space exploration and start to get excited about all of these incredible possibilities, about the fact that people in this very room could have the opportunity to go to space in the future, as we think about these things, we have to think back as well on a primary question, which is why? Why do we explore space in the first place? What is the reason? What is the intention? What is the driving factor that causes us to take on this immense, incredible endeavor? The driving factor is Earth. Space exploration is not about leaving Earth, about abandoning our problems, about looking for a planet B. It is not about trying to leave and make our home elsewhere. Space exploration is fully about asking ourselves, how can we use space as another tool to improve life here on Earth, to improve our stewardship of this planet? Space exploration is about answering the biggest questions that the universe poses to us. Space exploration is about turning our view back on Earth and asking ourselves, how can we do better? How can we improve our lives here in the future? That is what's next. Space exploration is about using the changes and opportunities and technologies and innovations that the challenges of space bring to us to make differences here on Earth. For example, one of the most incredible, in my opinion, things with space exploration that we can directly see impacting us already is the use of GPS satellites to more precisely and efficiently plant crops. That allows us to reduce the amount of land that humans use to leave more for natural species and natural environments, and especially in areas where we are trying to reintroduce populations that have been damaged. And it also allows us to feed an ever-growing population. Space exploration has brought us insulation. The very insulation that's in this building right now is a direct result of the innovation of space exploration, and it allows us to reduce our carbon emissions by keeping our homes warm and cool, respectively, at the appropriate time. These are just a couple of examples of the great good and benefit that space exploration can bring to our lives here on Earth, if we allow it. I truly believe that it is up to each and every one of us to create the future that we want to see. And space exploration will be a part of creating that future. It's our time, it's our generation. We are going to take steps in our solar system and our universe that have never been taken before. And in doing so, we are going to introduce capabilities that are unlike anything that we can imagine currently. I'm so excited to be a part of this generation and to look around this room today and to see so many brilliant, bright young minds who will be a part of making sure that we achieve our dreams and our goals in space and here on Earth, that we have the capability in the future to go to Mars, to truly become the Mars generation, to do things like putting humans, I'll volunteer, on the surface of Mars, and other things of that great magnitude. It is essential to our future that we look for challenges, that we strive to challenge ourselves and to place ourselves in these uncomfortable situations such as space. It is essential for our future. I will not stand here and tell you that I have the answer. There are huge problems facing our generation, problems that we know are going to become more severe over time. I don't have the answer to those problems, but what I can promise you is that I have an answer. I have part of the puzzle that will help us to develop the technologies, innovations, and, not to be ignored, the mindset to tackle these challenges wholeheartedly and successfully in the future. Space exploration is a part, it's not the whole, but combined with the other incredible endeavors that are being discussed today at Next, I believe that we truly can have an incredible future together. Thank you all for taking the time. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Abigail Harrison, it was a big pleasure to have you here at TRT World Forum. Thank you so much. We left behind another very engaging session. Thank you all for being with us.